Right, we're into the key of G this week. And that means that all the exercises we do and all the strumming will be based around the key of G. And there are a number of chords in the key of G, well, a number of chords in any key, but in the key of G, we're just going to quickly go through each of them one at a time. So in your own time, give me a G. And just strum your G chord, that's it. Yeah. Good. So we're just going to make sure we're kind of familiar with all the chords. G's the first one. And I'm just going up the scale, just up the alphabet. So the next one is A minor. That's the sadder sounding chord. Good. Got A minor. Now the next one's a little bit trickier. B minor. Often gets avoided. Strictly speaking, the best way to play it is to put the first finger across the second fret. Push your finger quite a long way across so that you can bend your third finger onto the fourth fret. Now, most of these chords I'm not going to explain how to play, but this one, because not everyone plays it, I thought I would. So you've got the third finger on the fourth fret of the G string, and then a bar across the second fret. If that's difficult for any physical reason, you can get away with just putting one finger on the second fret. And even in a group situation when a real person is sitting next to you, I don't think they're going to complain if you did that. But certainly now as well. So that's just a little bit easier, especially if the chords are going past quickly. Just one finger across the second fret. You'll get away with it. It's actually called B minor 7 if it's got a real name. But okay, so that's B minor. The next chord is C. The next one is D. So D, many ways of playing this, but the main one is just the first finger on the second fret, first three strings, and then the fourth one open, the A open. Or you can use three fingers across there. I don't know if you can see that. Three fingers across the second fret. That's D. Also D7 is an important key chord in the key of G. And D7, the correct way of playing this is one finger on the second fret again, then the second finger on the third fret of the A string. Now that's not the easiest way to play it. So you've got, in fret numbers, that's 2, 2, 2, 3. That's the proper way of playing it. And the reason I say that is a lot of people play 2, 0, 2, 0 with two fingers, which kind of sounds the same, but the interesting thing is there is no D, note D, in that chord. So it's actually missing the actual note D. So it's kind of a half D, but it's a D7 rather. So you can do that one as well, 2, 0, 2, 0. But one bar on the second fret and the third fret there on the top string is the D7. And that leaves us with one more chord to learn or to know in the key of G. And that's E minor, and that is 0, 4, 3, 2. Good. So I hope you've all a little strummed through that and made sure you're okay with all those chords. Good. Right. Okay. We're just going to get going now. We're going to start strumming, but very simply to start with and build up to what will be today's strum pattern. One you've probably all played before. So I'm just going to put the metronome on and we're just going to strum a G chord on beat 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice and easy to start with. 2, 3. Now we're going to beat strum on beats 1 and 3. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just down strums. So it's starting to warm up. Here we go. Now 1, 2, and 3. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. How about 1, 3, and 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 4. 3, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now all the B's. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. Now we're going to introduce the up strums. So you keep that hand going at the same speed. You won't notice my hand strum any differently. I'm going to hit the up strums in between. So you notice my hand looks exactly the same, doing the up strum. And we'll stop there. Good. Okay, good. So that's got the hands moving up and down nicely. And I'm just going to put onto the screen now the worksheet for today, and it's going to have our strumming pattern that we're going to play. So it's based on that pattern. And just roll up a bit, and there we go. It's so if you look in the middle there where it says strum pattern, there's nothing on the and after 1. So that means you don't do an up strum. There's nothing on beat 3, so you don't strum on beat 3. So it all comes out of that little strumming pattern I just did. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a couple of gaps, and you recognise it when I play it. I'll probably easiest if I actually play it rather than you try and count and convert it into strumming. Sometimes called the calypso, and it sounds like this. Okay, so that's the pattern. It's just a little bit slower, just for anyone who hasn't perhaps played this before. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 4, and 1. Okay, good. That's our strumming pattern today, and let's move on to the first chord sequence in the key of G, and hopefully you can see that on the screen there. Nice straightforward one. G, C, G, D7. If you find the 2-0, 2-0 version of D7 nice and easy, why not have a go at the other one, the 2-2-2-3 version? And if you find that easy, I'm sure you can find another voicing of D7 further up the neck to challenge yourself. So, okay. But as it's a warm-up, maybe it's just best to just play what's easiest. So here we go. I'm gonna strum that strum pattern. We're gonna do 2 of those patterns per chord, and we're just gonna go round and round that little loop for a little while. Here we go. After 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now C, G, D7, back to G, and round the loop again. Here we go. C, finish on the G. And that's how you know something's in the key of G, if it ends on the G and it sounds like it's finished. If I'd have finished that on any of the other chords, it wouldn't sound finished. So it wouldn't have been in one of those keys. Okay, so we've finished in G there. Let's do that again. And this time, the same strumming pattern, same speed, but only one pattern per chord. So 1 bar. These patterns are 1 bar long. So now the sequence is a 4-bar pattern. So using the same calypso rhythm, 1 bar each. 1, 2, 3, 4. C, G, D7. One more time. Finish on a G. Good. That's chord progression number 1. We'll do it one more time, just a little bit quicker. And you might think, oh, crumbs, just going around the same 4 chords time after time again. But it's the same with any musical warm-up. If you were, for example, and I've just started learning to play the trumpet. And one thing I do have to do is to just blow long notes for about 10 minutes. I just blow for about 3. And that's the trumpet equivalent of going around a load of chords for about 5 minutes. So very important on any musical instrument to just do repetitive things. Also helps the muscle memory, of course, because these are very common chord changes from G to C and G to D7. So the more you play them, the more that sort of gets into your muscle memory. And then it's easier to play them faster, which is what we're going to do now. So I'm just going to do the same sequence for a little bit longer. So, sorry, a little bit quicker around the same chords. Somebody's just unmuted themselves. So what
you do when you're playing with it, so don't play with it.
Hang on.
Yeah, but
it won't what you're saying. Right, let me just mute you all before you say anything you regret. Okay, I think we're back to normal. Yeah. Okay, let's just go around those chords and nice and quick now. A little bit quicker, not nice and quick. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Last time. Finish on a G. Yes, I was even starting starting to sing along there, which is a good thing to do. So do sing along to your strumming, even if it's just la la la, and that also helps connect your mind, your brain, and your singing voice to your ukulele playing as well. So right, okay, let's move on to chord progression number 2, and a little bit like last time, it's what's called a 12-bar blues progression, because there are 12 bars in it, and also because of the particular sequence of chords used a lot by blues musicians and rock and roll musicians in the past, and still one of the most common chord sequences that there is. So we're going to strum through this. We're just going to do 1 bar per chord. So we're just going to follow that 12-bar sequence there, and we'll do it for a little while at a slowish speed, and then a little while at a quicker speed. Here we go. So 1, 2, 1. Sorry, that's my quick speed. Back to the earlier speed. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now C. Back to G. D. C. Back to the top. And C. G. D. C and G. All right, we're back at the top again. Let's go around one more time. Finish on the G, because we're in the key of G. Okay, good. We're going to do that again, just slightly faster. And just go back and just review the strumming pattern in case that you've drifted off the rhythm there. So it's down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. And another important thing you may have noticed is that I'm playing it what's called straight. So all my up strums are timing-wise exactly halfway between my down strums, so they're all evenly spaced strums. What that doesn't sound like is this. So if you're playing what I'm about to play, you need to think about what I have been playing. So what you shouldn't be playing is... which is kind of a swingy kind of a rhythm, which is not a calypso. So I'm playing a straight rhythm, down, down, up, down, up. And sometimes people get the two, one merges into the other. So we're playing it. Okay, let's play that chord progression now a little bit faster. And just a couple of additions here just to make it sound a little bit more interesting. The 4th G on the top line is often played as a G7 because it gives a nice move into the following C chord. So if you change your 4th G to a G7, that will make that sound good. And you could make the last D as well a D7. So we could make the chords at the end 7s. At least on the 1st and 3rd line. So a G7 at the end of the 1st line and a D7 at the end of the 4th line. And here we go again, a little bit quicker this time. Singing along if you want to. You never know, you might even make some words up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now G7. C. G. D. C. G. D7. Back to the top. G7. D7. G7. Back to the top for the last time. G. D7, back to G, finish on a G, and there's your 12-bar blues, chord progression number 2, with a little G7 thrown in at the top there, which those of you here last week would have recalled that we did that chord then, because actually, strictly speaking, G7 is in the key of C. So a little naughty C chord sneaking in. Right, last chord progression today, this morning. It's chord progression number 3, because we mustn't forget the minor chords. And I've just written out a little chord sequence there, which includes the 3 minors. So quick review of those. E minor, sort of slightly further up the neck, always a little bit awkward. B minor, that's the one with the bar on the 2nd fret. If you really want to check if your chords are working, just hold the chord shape and then play a note at a time. And just check that all those strings come out nice and cleanly for any chord. And if not, then you need to just slightly adjust your fingers, but just a way of checking. A minor, I'm sure you all know that one. So still with the calypso rhythm, and I'm going to just play this a little bit more gently, and it's chord progression number 3. And we're going to do 2 bars or 2 patterns for each chord. So this is the final one today. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. D. E minor. Now B minor. A minor. G. C. And D. Back to the top and repeat. time round. Finish on the G, 2, 3, 4. Lovely. Okay, well, that ends the strumming part of, or at least the rhythmic strumming part of the session. What I'm going to do now, and something we did last time, just for a little bit of fun, is I'm going to strum a chord. I'm going to put my ukulele out of view, strum a chord, and I want you to work out which one it is and strum it back to yourself. So using your ears here to recognize chords, always a good thing, because when you start to work out songs and want to learn songs, this always does help. So I'm going to start with a chord, see if you can strum it. It's one of those chords in that last sequence. So I'll just take that off the screen now so I can see you strumming. Okay, yes. Well, you know what they are. You've been strumming them all morning. That was an A minor. Got any thumbs up for that one? Got a few people get that one. Good, well done. Yeah, that was an A minor, that chord. Okay, here's another one. That's probably the first chord you ever learnt. That's a C. Probably because I played A minor before it made it sound different. And we're not in the key of C either. Here's another one. Now, what chord do you reckon that is? Well, that was a G. Does this? Yeah. Any thumbs up for that one? Yes, must be one or two. Good, well done. Let's just do one more. And yeah, you can go through a whole lot, can't you, until one matches. Yeah, that was an E minor. It's got that kind of, it's a sad version of G. Oh, someone got it. Well done, Mark, and one or two others. Yeah, and Jacqueline, good. I can't see everybody's thumb yet. That's great. So that was an E minor. It's like a sad version of G. If you play G, and then play E minor, very similar, but one's the E minor is a slightly sad version. It's called the relative minor. There you go. Finish on a bit of theory. Right, everybody. Thank you very much. It's been fun for me because Dukes, of course, are not very busy this year. It's actually our 10th year anniversary being together. And we've brought out a new CD and we've got all sorts of gigs to celebrate our 10th year playing together. And of course, well, that's turned out well, hasn't it? So, but this has certainly given me an alternative interest with the ukulele. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining in. And I do hope you'll come back in 2 weeks' time, which will be the 23rd. Obviously, I'll send you a notification. And I will also send you a link to the YouTube video so you can watch it again if you want, or send it on to a friend. And also, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, I've forgotten now. 2 weeks' time. Yeah, we're going to do it in the key, be another key, won't it? It'll probably be the key of D, which just means there'll be one or two new chords introduced each time. And thank you, Jacqueline, for your comment there. And right, I think I'll probably say that's it because I can't think of anything else to say. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. If you want to unmute yourself and say goodbye to your friends, and I ought to make a note of all the groups that are here as well. So yeah, but anyway, unmute yourself.
Bye.
And
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.